Hi, my name is Jake Gavand, and I am the creator of this course you're taking called Artificial Intelligence and Your Future. I'm really glad you're here. This course is one of those courses that changes a lot. As of the time I'm making this video, this is the second time I'll be teaching the course, and we're going to do a lot of different things than we did even earlier, like 6 months ago, because artificial intelligence is such a moving target. It's changing all the time, way more than if you're taking like a math course or an English course or a history course. Maybe not history. History changes fast too, but anyway, there's a lot of change, and so I want this course to be useful, so I'm going to have to change it every time I teach it, and that's okay. So this intro video is just to get you started. I just want you to learn a little bit about some of what we mean when we talk about artificial intelligence, and then also see some examples of it, and even learn some of the vocabulary that goes with it. So with that, let's get started. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so artificial intelligence, this is an exploration. Let's jump right in. So here you go. ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is something you've probably heard of. It is a type of artificial intelligence. I think some people just think of it when they hear artificial intelligence, but there's a lot more to artificial intelligence than things like ChatGPT. But I want to talk about those. So ChatGPT first was released to the public, I think, at the end of November in 2022. So I'm making this video in early 2024, so it was just about a year ago. And ever since then, there's been all sorts of competitors, and AI is always in the news, and every company is wanting to say, oh yeah, we use AI, because it's like a buzzword. I don't know if it's going to stay that way or not, but that's what it is right now. So ChatGPT is a type of AI. It's what's called a chatbot. And so maybe you've tried it, maybe not. I'll show you in a little bit what it's like if you haven't seen it, and maybe even point out a few things for you if you have seen it. But ChatGPT is you can talk to it, you can type information, you can add pictures, and it can create things for you. So it's like a chatbot, like an assistant, an AI assistant that can do different things for you when you ask it to. So let's look at a couple other competitors to ChatGPT. This one is called Claude. It's from another company. I should have mentioned ChatGPT. That one is from a company called OpenAI, and they have a lot of supporters, and people pay for subscriptions to that. But there's also free versions. And then this one is called Claude. That's from another competitor called Anthropic. It's similar to ChatGPT. It's pretty popular. Meta, the company who started Facebook and also owns Instagram, they use AI, and they have a model that they make free. In fact, if you use some of their apps like Instagram or Facebook, they've built in some of the artificial intelligence. And so I think in Instagram I've seen you can talk to different types of AI that are kind of like a sports star or a best friend or different things. So they're using AI in their tools, but they also make it free. It's called Llama. And so there's a funny picture of a llama from a news article I found. And then Google, of course, does not want to be left out. They have their own AI chatbot called Bard. So, all right, I called this slide Acronym Attack because here are some acronyms or abbreviations for different terms that have to do with AI. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the pen quick. We'll just buzz through these. What I would recommend you do is pause this video and see how many of these you know. Do you know one of them, two of them? Have you heard them before? Do you know what they mean? Any of that would be helpful. So pause the video for a moment, see what you can guess. Then we'll go through them quick. Okay, hopefully I waited long enough. So the first one, AI, right there. That one I bet you knew. Artificial intelligence, that's what that stands for. Now, a lot of people that are experts in AI, they actually wish that it was called this one right here, ML. So I don't know if you knew that one or not. That stands for machine learning. And they feel like machine learning is a more appropriate term for AI. So, all right. Another one that you may have heard of, but maybe you don't know, is this GPT. You'll hear that in ChatGPT, or now I've seen that like different companies, including ChatGPT, allow you to create your own GPTs. And so you can give them different like instructions so that they specialize in something. You can even add some of your own info. So let's say you're really, really an expert on, let's say a video game. Let's say you're an expert on Roblox. So regular ChatGPT knows a lot about Roblox already, just from things it's found online, articles and stories and things. But talk more about that in a second. But maybe you have some really good information that you're an expert on Roblox, and so you can add that information and have it really focus on that when it answers people's questions. So maybe you were going to create a GPT that specialized in answering people's questions about beating different games or obstacles in Roblox. So you could give it your own information too, and you could even tell it to use that information mostly to answer people's questions. So if you're an expert on something, and different people are, they're creating their own GPTs that are specializing in using their info to interact with users, with people. So anyway, GPT, though the word is out there, stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. And so I'll talk about that quick. Generative just means it generates or creates something based on what you prompted. Pre-trained just means that it takes in a bunch of information, training data to learn. And transformer means it transforms what it knows as part of that creation for you. So it's really important. You'll learn, if you use chatbots a lot, you'll start to get better and better at writing prompts. So, it'll translate or transform what you tell it, and it'll create something based on what it learned. And so that's what GPT stands for, Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Now, one of the things that trains these chatbots is an LLM, which is called a large language model. So large language models are big sets of text that artificial intelligence, basically reads through it all, takes it in, and it uses patterns that it finds to then answer questions. So, I think one of the best ways to think about that is, there's so much information on the internet now. So because of all that information that people put out there, that's really allowed this artificial intelligence to grow, because it needs information to learn. It's just taking in tons of info, and that's how it learns. So anyway, we'll talk more about that as the course goes on. Let's go down to this one, GOFAI. That stands for Good Old-Fashioned AI. So Good Old-Fashioned AI. You'll learn more about that. There's a couple podcasts we're going to listen to, and then of course it wouldn't be a class unless you're taking a quiz, so you'll take some quizzes on it too. But it's a type of AI that's been around for a long time. AI has actually been around for, 50 to 75 years, but it's really exploded in popularity in the last 10 years, and especially the last couple of years. And that's partly just because of how powerful computers are now, that they can take in all that information that's out there on the internet. So a combination of powerful computers and all the data that's out there online available, that's what's really caused AI to be able to take off. Okay. SGE, that's the last one. I'll show you that one just kind of as an intro, but SGE is from Google. It's called Search Generative Experience. So let me pull a web page out here. So I typed into Google, draw a picture of a panda fighting a tiger, and it even said, so I could change this. draw a picture of a, let's say, hedgehog playing pickleball against a dragon. So we'll see what happens. So I had to enable this SGE in my Google account. So you can see it's thinking, it's generating, it's creating actually. So what we're going to see, no one has ever seen before. So this is kind of interesting. I don't know if you like any of these. This first one, it didn't really do a very good job because what's missing? There's no dragon there. This one, I guess it somehow added a picnic in there. That's okay. I don't know which my favorite. Probably one of these two are my favorite ones. This one's kind of added a rainbow in outer space. This one's like they're playing pickleball on a. I don't know if that's a path in the forest or it looks kind of like a river. Let me see what that one says. If you click on these, it'll tell you more about them. I think. Oh, there we go. So this says a watercolor painting of a hedgehog and a dragon playing pickleball in a forest with trees and a river. So it added all this stuff, and it's kind of weird because the hedgehog's actually standing on the river. So I don't know. But anyway, this is showing you that Google generated this image. It's kind of cool if you Google Drive, you can export this, you can download it, save it in your Google Drive, you can share it. So this picture is actually made up. You could do the same search and you would see different results. So anyway, that's SGE. That's how Google, if you turn that on, Google will allow you to create things within just a Google search. So I'm going to close that for now. All right. So let me escape out of here. And actually, I'm going to go to full screen video so you can see this. Okay. So AI actually first started like over 100 years ago. And there was all sorts of stories in the media, sometimes in newspapers or even movies they made about robots and machines that think. So that's always been really popular. And there's still tons of movies and stories today. When I'm creating this video, I know things like there's shows like Westworld or even a little bit older movies like The Matrix. There was a new movie I saw on Netflix the other day called Heart of Stone. And one of the themes of all those movies is kind of AI or artificial intelligence that has a mind of its own and becomes dangerous to people. Or if it's in the wrong hands, it can, be used like as a really powerful weapon. So then in the 1950s, you might have heard of Alan Turing. He's been in some movies lately, or there's been movies about him. I don't think he's alive anymore, but he created the Turing test, which is like a test to see if people can tell that they're interacting with a machine or not. There was conferences in the 1950s, and AI just kept, people were. Some of the first AI, the GoFi, the good old-fashioned AI, that was rules-based. So, like people that were programming it, they would say, if a person says, "How are you?" then respond by saying, "I'm great. I'm really glad you're here. How are you?" So it would basically, the programmer would write rules that if a person said this, then you say this. So it was up to the programmer to try to think of all the different things that people might say when they were chatting that chatbot. And some of those first chatbots, I think there was one called Jabberwacky. You can even go online, I think, and find some of those older chatbots. They're like 30 years old, some of them, and there's probably even older ones than that. And it was funny because they did Turing tests on some people who, on about those. And like 60% of people thought they were chatting with a real human being. They didn't know they were chatting with a chatbot. And that, so, it's interesting. Over time, these have just gotten better and better, again, because computers are way more powerful and because of just all the data that's out there online. So this video is getting pretty long. I want to jump into two more things and then we'll end it. So let me escape out of this. And I'm going to go into ChatGPT. So here I am. I have a ChatGPT account. And let's see, I'll put this here and you can see me. All right. So in ChatGPT, you'll see over on the left side, I have I've actually subscribed, but there's a free account. So I'm using ChatGPT 4. Yeah. So that one even has some image options. So it has some different things. But anyway, I want to show you something. I asked it, I said to this ChatGPT, I said, I'm creating a slide for a presentation. Create a 16:9, that just means kind of widescreen image with abstract question marks and white space in the center for question text. And so then this is what it came up with, which I thought looked pretty good. So with paid versions of these chatbots, and maybe some free ones even, you can create images. And it just created this for me based on what I said. I had some other things like my son. He was applying for a job at a summer camp. So I think he created this one. Yeah. So he was just, writing a prompt, and then ChatGPT wrote like a letter of introduction for him. And by the way, he actually got the job. So I did some other things. I just said, let's see, scenic mountain hiking trail. Here we go. So here I said, oh, I think I wrote a long prompt, or I copied and pasted this from somewhere. I just said, draw a scene. So I think I was testing ChatGPT to see if it was better than Google, the SGE, the Search Generative Experience. But it came up with this picture, which, to me it looks a little weird, but it's cool. All right. So anyway, if I do a new chat, let me do a new chat. Here's where I could say, come up with 3 engaging ideas to teach high school students about artificial intelligence. All right. So we'll see what ChatGPT comes up with. All right, you never know. I might use some of these in class here. So I'll just read this quick for the purpose of this video. All right, let me go up here a little bit. So ChatGPT, it came up with an AI project challenge. It came up with an ethics debate. And then it came up with interactive workshops with guest speakers. So, I may use some of these. We'll see, like the AI project challenge or the ethics debate. Any of these. I mean, we'll be learning about AI in a lot of different ways. So, I look forward to working with you this term. I will say that we've focused in this video on the chatbots, but some of the first activities we do are going to show you that artificial intelligence is actually a lot more than just chatbots. It's built into all sorts of things around us, and some things that you may not even realize. So we'll get to learn about that. We'll get to play with some tools and things, including starting in this first unit. So again, I'm really glad to be working with you, and I hope you'll learn a lot and have fun in the process. Thanks.